Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our Evolve 365 Microsoft Tips and Tricks session today. We wanted to start this weekly series to give you some simple and easy tips that anyone can go back to their desk and quickly implement. We know your time is valuable, so we strive to keep sessions to no more than 30 minutes, sometimes less. We also push the topics out monthly, so you only have to sign up once for the monthly series instead of 4 or 5 times. If you ever miss a session, you can always find our recordings on our Planet Technologies YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/Planet Technologies. So a little about myself. I'm your host, Tanya Kaiser. I have more than 15 years experience with project management across multiple industries, including technology, legal, nonprofit, and construction. I'm also a longtime Microsoft geek and a big SharePoint nerd. One of the things I enjoy is helping others learn new skills, whether it be with applications they're familiar with, like Office, or something completely new to them, like SharePoint. If you have any questions after a session, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn, or just send me an email. So a little about Planet. Planet has been providing expert support in the Microsoft world for over 18 years. We offer full services for the entire Microsoft Cloud and Productivity Suite, including advisory, deployment, and training services, mobile application development and solutions, and strategic business consulting, including technology, compliance, and security guidance. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off. And this week I'm going to keep it a little lighthearted and just show you some Microsoft technology, applications, and tips that I'm truly thankful for. So this is primarily, we're not going to go too deep into things. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I use daily and I'm really, really glad that we have out there from Microsoft. So of course, the one thing that I have to say is I pretty much am all things Microsoft. It's in my daily work, it's in my professional and personal life, but I really, really love the new strategy that Microsoft has been moving towards since last year, really. In their May 2015 Ignite session, they announced this mobile-first, cloud-first strategy where they wanted to have a uniform experience across every device, whether it's Windows 10 from a laptop to a desktop to a modified device like a Surface, or whether it's a mobile application like Word or SharePoint or Outlook. They really want you to have a seamless experience no matter what device you're using. And I've really seen this come into play with all of the mobile apps, which I love. So whether or not your organization allows them, you still may want to try out some of their mobile apps. And on that note, one of the things that I really love is the free functional email that you can get through Outlook.com. So if you've ever had an email for Microsoft services like Hotmail or Live or one of their other ones, you can also create new emails at Outlook.com. And that's a great tool for people who just need a brand new email. Maybe you're getting too much spam, or maybe you want to separate out some work and professional stuff. You can go sign up on Outlook.com. And the great thing is it also gives you access to the online apps. Now that doesn't mean you're going to be able to download, everything to your computer, but anytime you have access to a computer, you can go and use OneNote, you can go and use Word, Excel. So it's just a really great feature that Microsoft is giving you. I personally use Outlook.com for a lot of my personal work-related emails, so anytime I sign up for a new service or I purchase a product, that's where all of my licensing information goes, and I know that email is dedicated to it. The other thing that I love about Microsoft is that they're really incorporating feedback both into their mobile apps and all of their desktop applications, but also through social media. So they have regular blog posts from all the different teams on blogs.office.com. And once you go to that site, you can pinpoint maybe you're only interested in things from the OneNote team. Maybe you're only interested in things from the SharePoint team. But they post a lot of information there, and they usually give a monthly update, which is really good info. And the other area that they're pretty active in and very responsive is through Twitter. So I only have a few of the Twitter accounts listed here. There are a ton of them that Microsoft has. Almost every single product, you see the Excel one at the bottom has one. So whether you're looking for PowerPoint or Word or just Office 365 in general, you'll see a lot of information go out through their Twitter accounts. Now the one thing that I did want to show you is that you don't necessarily have to have a Twitter account yourself to keep up with these. So if you know that there is a Twitter account that you want to go out and take a look at, one easy way that you can get that is just by going to twitter.com, and then if you'll see in my URL bar, I just put in the name of the account. Now these are case sensitive, So in this case, we're showing the Office News Twitter account, and you can see they have a post, and one thing they can do on Twitter is pin a tweet to the top. But you can see they also retweet a lot of the other Microsoft accounts. So if you just pick one and put it in there, twitter.com/ and then the Twitter account, you'll probably find a lot of other ones. So you can see in this case, they retweeted the Microsoft Envision conference. And if you scroll through their feed, here's a retweet from the Microsoft Excel team on an AMA that they had on Reddit. So they've been doing these pretty regularly for different products. They'll go over to Reddit and have an Ask Me Anything, which is what AMA means. You can see that there's another mention for Microsoft Office. So if you don't want to set up your own Twitter account, you can still type in that account directly by going, again, to twitter.com/ in this case office. But just by scrolling through some of this information, you'll find out other ones. And you'll also see there's a sidebar here. So again, if you wanted to get OneDrive info or Microsoft General info or Windows or only Outlook. But they do post a lot of info there, and more than likely it's leading back to one of their blog posts or a tech support article or a new feature. So again, some really, really good information on these Twitter feeds, especially for the specific product. So if we take a look really quickly at the Outlook one, we have an announcement here for, geared towards small business owners. And again, that's now available in the Amazon App Store, and they give you a download link. So a lot of information on their social media accounts that is really, really useful. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show is about that free email. So you can go to outlook.com. And again, if you have an email already, you can go to this and use it, but you can also sign up and create a new one. And like any email service, they'll check for you and see if your email is available. So this is a great tool to use if you just need another email account. Maybe, like I said, you want to get some work-related email, but you don't want it cluttering up your work inbox. That's kind of the way I use my Outlook.com address. All the professional-related stuff, whether it's meetups or conferences or group memberships, I have going to my Outlook email. But they give you some nice features. They have a lot of add-ins that are available, and you have, Outlook tools, so you can unsubscribe, you can pin things, you can tie it into your OneDrive, and again, you can take this on your mobile device. So it's a really, really great tool. They've really refreshed it. They do kind of advertise up here that it's not going to, search your email, and it's going to let you only see limited ads because it is free. So that's one thing that they're really, really advertising as well. So I'll show you what this looks like. This is, again, my personal Outlook.com email. You can see I get a lot of staff, a lot of emails from groups that I'm a part of, whether they're memberships or, Microsoft-related subscriptions that I've done. And I just kind of have them all filtered in here. And it's really just nice to have it all contained in that one area. So again, that's a personal way I use that Outlook.com email. But the cool thing, if I click on this, you can see that I've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Sway. I've got Docs.com. I even have OneDrive associated with this. And this isn't a paid account. This is completely free. So now I can go ahead and create my own personal Office 365 subscription if I wanted, but you get online access to these accounts through Outlook.com. So that's a really, really nice feature. So I'm going to go back to my presentation slide right now. And like I said, all of those mobile apps, that free functional email, I know a lot of people love Gmail. Gmail gets a little top-heavy for me with all of the targeted ads, so I tend to not use that email as much. And then again, always checking back on the blogs.office.com, and then finding out some of those Twitter accounts. Even if you don't have a Twitter account, you can access them by putting in the account name directly. So now I already mentioned this, that I really love the mobile apps. And I do use the daily kind of core applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint pretty frequently, almost on a daily basis. And of course, Outlook is always in there in email. But I have to say, even though those are the core applications, my absolute favorite apps that I really couldn't run my life without is OneNote, even beyond email, because I feel like there's a lot of other options for email. If you're not necessarily using Outlook, you can do it online, you can use Gmail, and you can use Forwards. But OneNote, for me, doesn't compare to any of the other note-taking apps out there like Evernote. I use OneNote extensively, both professionally and my work every day, but I also use it quite a bit personally. If there's anything family related, whether it's following my dad's doctor's appointments, he's gone through cancer treatment and recovery the last 2 years, or if I'm preparing for our Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, I have a OneNote for all of our recipes. And that's just been a project that little by little I'm moving my recipes from all the different note cards and newspaper clippings over to OneNote. I just love all the features, and the fact that I can access it from any device, whether I'm at somebody's house and I log in and pull up something to share, or on my iPhone or on my Android tablet. It's pretty similar across all of those devices. So I actually have an old tablet that I keep in my kitchen, and that's where I read my recipes from. The other app I really don't use too much professionally, but I love Sway and how it lets you quickly put together a really, really nice visual presentation. I think it's just a fun app. So I've shown my kids that app, and they use it for some of their school presentations. I think it's really, really great for work presentations if they're not that formal. So anything that you need to show images, maybe you're showing, a company meeting and you're including a lot of pictures and videos, or any personal presentations that you want to do for any kind of event. And you can create these on the fly really, really easily from a mobile device. So that makes it just even easier. Working on a PowerPoint from an iPhone or an Android phone would be pretty difficult, but Sway makes that very easy. And then the third app that I really, really love, and one that I find myself using more and more, is integrated with Office 365. And it used to be called Delve Analytics, and they recently rebranded it to My Analytics, but you'll still find it in Delve. I use this solely for my work. This comes with, again, a lot of enterprise Office 365 licenses, but it really helps me keep up to date on where I need to make adjustments in my workday, because you can get a weekly summary on how many recurring meetings you had, how many emails have you received, and how responsive are you being and are others being. How many hours have you worked after hours? So I've started to check that almost on a regular basis every Monday just to see, wow, no wonder I felt like I didn't get anything done last week. I had a bunch of extra meetings. And it's a really powerful tool if you find yourself always on the go and work and you're just trying to hone in on maybe where you need to make adjustments, or maybe where you need to talk to your team or your managers about shifting some of the workload around, either during the week on recurring meetings or just other projects that have kind of taken over it. So that's a really, really powerful tool. And this is all backed by the Microsoft Graph that runs a lot of the other components in Office 365. So if I had to pick any of them, which is really difficult when you love all of the Windows Microsoft world as much as I do, it would be OneNote. Sway, like I said, I just really like that app. It's super fun for me to use, and I use it a lot on personal projects. And then Delve Analytics, and now called My Analytics, I think some people don't realize how powerful that can be. And I'll show it to you in just a minute. A lot of people get really, really worried when they see Delve Analytics and they think, maybe this is something that I don't want others seeing. Only you can see your Delve Analytics. So that's a really good thing to know. So I showed you how in my free Outlook account you get access to OneNote. And I actually have my notebooks here, so you can see I create different notebooks for different things. I mentioned that I have a recipes notebook. Again, I'm working on that project, and I'm working slowly on putting all of my recipes in my OneNote. I've got some SharePoint training ones that I've done on SharePoint Saturdays where I've had a session. And I also have a lot of notes for a charity that I'm involved with, Extra Life. So we, use that for all of our meeting agendas, for sending out notes to providers and just tracking lessons learned. We use it almost like a project planner. Dinner and Code, that's something that I attended with my son. We, attended an intro coding session. So OneNote for me kind of lives everywhere, and I use it a lot from my phone, but I use it just as much on my Surface, which is my primary machine. So again, this is a great tool if you're ever looking for some other note-taking version other than what's native on your device. The thing that I love about this is it's tied back to my Outlook account. So I don't have to worry if my phone were to die, I would lose access to those notes that are in my phone because it doesn't live anywhere other than my phone. So OneNote, again, it's backed up to the cloud. It's always syncing. It's a great tool, and I really love that. We've done a few sessions on OneNote, so if you want to know a lot more about it, you can go find those sessions on our YouTube channel. Now the other one that I mentioned is Sway, and again this comes with the Outlook account. So even though I'm in Sway, I can click on this and see, all of my other apps here. Now this is interesting. If you don't want to set up an Outlook account, you can go to sway.com and create an account there, and it's completely free. So even if you have no Outlook accounts, maybe you're even working on a Mac and you don't use anything from Microsoft at all, you can come into Sway and sign up and start creating things. So I have one that I periodically update on, again, my extra life work, and this is what I use Sway for quite a bit other than my kids, school presentations. But it's a pretty just light app, so whether you're using it on a browser, on a laptop like I am now, or a device, like an Android tablet in the browser, you get the same experience. But the cool thing about Sway is that it will adjust your presentations based on what device you're viewing. So you can see this works differently, and I'll show you really quickly on my mobile device. It will automatically adjust your images based on how people are viewing it. And that to me is one of the top reasons why I love using this. And I can also make changes on the fly from my phone. So again, that's one of my favorite things out there, and I'll show you the mobile version in just a little bit. But first I want to take a peek at Delve. So you're going to get an inside look at my workday here because I'm showing you my corporate Delve Analytics. And this lives, again, in Office 365. You would click your Delve app, and then right underneath your own image it'll say My Analytics. And what's cool is you can go back week by week. So if I wanted to look at the month of November, I can scroll back and see, hey, I kind of started working some after hours time, and I can scroll down and see who my top collaborators were that week. And then I can say, people that I've kind of lost touch with, maybe those projects ended. And then it gives me how many meeting hours I've done, and it even breaks that down. What are they? Am I multitasking? Did I have things double booked? Am I doing recurring meetings? Do I have some longer meetings? Do I have any conflicting meetings? So you can see my recurring meetings tend to take up quite a bit. It also gives you a company average, and it tells me how many I scheduled and how many others scheduled. So this little down arrow will give you the info from the week before, and you can come in and modify your goals too. So that's really, really nice. It gives me my email hours, how many times I spent on email. I can see that I was up 2.5 hours and I'm above the company average, how many hours I spent writing emails, how many hours I spent reading them. And then it even gives me the percent read by others and percent read by me and how long we took to respond. And then you have your focus hours, and if you're ever wondering about any of these information, it'll tell you focus hours are 2 hours without meetings count as focus hours. So I can really find out, which days I actually have any focus time. And Wednesday always seems to be a pretty busy day, and then Thursday is now coming up on that. So again, it lets me know if I want to block something off for a project that I need to work on personally, maybe Monday or Tuesday are the best days for me. And then it does track your after hours. So that's a good thing to know too. You can set a goal. It automatically sets your goal for after hours as 0. But if you're somebody who works across time zones, you may want to change that goal to 1 or 2 hours. And then again, I can go through this week by week and look at what it looks like, throughout the month. So this normally, it won't give you the current week, it'll give you the week prior, but you can see that through the month of November, I realized, oh, okay, I'm working after hours quite a bit. Let me try and get that down a little bit. And I'm sure this week with the holiday, it's going to go down. You can see my recurring meetings are, still inching up there above the company average. So this is a really powerful tool when you yourself are trying to look at this and figure out, okay, where do I get more time back to do the work that I need to do? I'm spending too much time in meetings, or I don't have enough focus time where I can take care of items. This is just a great tool. And remember, nobody can look at this other than you unless you're sitting down with your manager or teammates and showing them. So it's just a great tool to use, and I feel like most people don't realize how powerful My Analytics can be. Now this is something that your Office 365 admin can turn on or off, but it is included with a lot of Microsoft applications. So that's just a really, really great feature to have. So the other thing that I wanted to show you really, really briefly is the Delve Analytics. And let me go ahead and bring that up. Not the Delve Analytics. I wanted to show you Sway and how that works on different applications. So if I open up Sway here really briefly, I'm not going to give them a rating. You'll see how it changes from device to device once we open this. Oh, I got to go back and close it since I already have the preview open. Let me go ahead and just close this out. And I'm also going to show you OneNote from the mobile device. So now I should be able to open that Sway. And this is just, again, it's a really fun app that I think works because it does change dynamically depending on the device that's viewing it, which is a really neat feature. But if I wanted to update this right now, I could make changes to it. So this is the same picture that you saw a few minutes ago. On my laptop, it only showed my eyes. And if I scroll down, it's, modifying the text and the size of the pictures and even some of the location of the pictures. So on the laptop, this showed them, all in a row, and now it knows I'm viewing on a smaller device, and it's automatically adjusting them. So it's just a really fun app, and if I wanted to go in and go into edit mode, I could add stuff in here without any issues directly from my mobile device. So again, I love Sway for things like that. I've also used it for conferences. That was a prior conference one that I spoke at. So it's great in certain situations. Now again, the mobile OneNote app is one that I use quite a bit, and I'll show you my recipes one. So I've got, different tabs here for drinks, dips, soups, entrees, and desserts. And then when we start doing our Thanksgiving planning, I'll usually create a temporary tab so we do our meal planning. Normally helps if you spell them right, but I'll come in and I'll say, Thanksgiving at, the in-laws, Thanksgiving at home, and I'll start doing our menu planning all within OneNote, and then I can either save that tab for the next time, or I can bring it up, for a future and just modify it. So I use OneNote in all of my life, whether it's professionally or personally, and it's really powerful. The other thing that I really like is we're able to take pictures. So I've shown this on some of our OneNote presentations. We get a regular monthly delivery for vinyl records, and they always include drink recipes in there. We don't want to keep a lot of that paper around, so we take a photo of it, and then OneNote will translate the text, so we don't even have to type that much. So again, that's just another one of my favorite ones, and wanted to make sure you all saw how powerful each of those apps could be. So as we get to close out, I want to give you some quick tips, things that I thought, when I found these out, they kind of were work-changing for me, if not life-changing. And I'll go through these pretty quickly. So when it comes to Outlook, which is probably the most used apps out of everything Microsoft, barring Windows, because email is everywhere. We use it personally. We use it professionally. One of the default things that kind of drives me insane is the default view is conversations, whether you're using the Outlook desktop application or whether you're using the online versions. So this tip actually came from a customer a few sessions back when I was talking about Outlook Online, and if you only use email online, it's default by conversations. And usually for email, people customize it quite a bit, and you're usually either a conversations person or a messages person, or you're a folders person and organize everything, or all of it's in your inbox. I fall into the messages only and folders person, so I love that tip, and I'll show you how to change that in just a bit. The other tip that I really love is you can recover deleted items. So if you deleted something and it moved to your deleted box, and then you deleted it again, you can, for a short period of time, recover those items if you have an Outlook Online account. So even if you're using Outlook 2013 or Outlook 2016, but you know that that's tied to Office 365, you can log in on a browser and recover items that have been deleted out of your deleted items. The other great thing that I love and I use pretty frequently, as you can saw from my analytics, I do some after hours work, is delay delivery of an email. So if I'm working at 9 p.m. at night, I don't want to send out an email and make a person feel like they have to respond. I may delay delivery of that until 7 a.m. when I know that they're starting their day. And it's a great tip, and I use Outlook 2016 as my primary email application, and that really works very well. When it comes to Word, the first time that I learned that you could modify the normal document template, so every time you open up Word and you get a blank document, if you find yourself going in and changing the margins or going in and changing the default font, go out and change your normal document template, which gives you that blank document every time, and you never have to do that again. I learned that tip years and years ago, but I still find myself teaching it to people, so that's a really, really great tip. And again, we covered this in one of our sessions prior, so you should be able to find it on our YouTube channel. Now, when it comes to Skype for Business, I love the fact that you can record meetings, and I use this both professionally and personally. So when I have some of our planning meetings for our Extra Life charity event, we know not everybody can attend it, but we want to be able to give them the info. So we'll record those via Skype, and I'll send them out the agenda and the notes from OneNote, and then a link to the recording that I just store in my OneDrive. Now, there is one thing to mention about recordings, and that the laws vary from state to state. So you want to double check the laws in your area, but even if your area allows it, it's always a good practice to let people know, hey, we're going to be recording this and sending it out later. And my final top tip is there's a series of blogs out there called 1 Minute Magic by another great SharePoint Microsoft person. And he just posts pretty regularly every few days, and it's just everything on Office. It could be from email and Outlook to Word to Excel to Skype, and it's just a great series, and I learn stuff almost every single time I read it, and I've been using Microsoft products for nearly 20 years now. So I'm going to show you really quickly an Outlook Online, and I'll go to my demo account for this one. So you can see that here's a conversation history, and this is on Outlook Online, and the default is conversation history. And for a while I thought you couldn't change that, but what I didn't realize is that this drop down here for all lets you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can then view as messages. So that is a really big tip. So now instead of having those device images in one thread, they're now by date the way I have sorted it. And you can always change that back. So that's really, really nice. Before I thought you could only do this in Outlook, and I just didn't realize that this doesn't look like a link to me, but there is a drop-down error there. So that's a really, really good thing that I love. Now, the other feature that's unique to Outlook Online, if I come over here to More and I want to view all of my folders, and if we go into our deleted items, if it'll show me those, if you're in Outlook Online and you right-click, you have a Recover Deleted Items option, and it'll open up a new email if you have anything in there. Oh, I'm preventing a pop-up here. So it's this pop-up, and it's going to show me what my deleted items are. So you can say they were permanently deleted or emptied from the deleted items folder, but you can recover them to their original locations. And in this case, I only have one. But you can sometimes search. Now, again, this isn't something that you can do, forever. You can go back a year later. There is a certain time period, and that time period might be changed by your Exchange admins. But if usually when we delete something accidentally, we kind of realize it pretty quickly. We're either going, oh no, I didn't mean to delete that, or you're looking for something that you had 2 days ago. So this is a really great feature if your email is tied to an Office 365 account. And you would never know this because it's not common to come in and right-click on a lot of these folders. But on the deleted items one, there's that powerful recover deleted items. So that's a really good tip to know. Now I'm going to switch over to Outlook itself. So if I come in and I type a brand new email, and let's just say I'm sending this outside my organization, and I'll just send this to myself. One powerful tool, and this is only from the Outlook desktop application that I've been able to tell, you can come over to Options, and then you can say Delay Delivery, and it'll give you a pop-up, and you tell it when do you want to deliver it. So in this case, I'm typing this on a Wednesday, but I know everybody's out of the office and nobody's going to read it. I'm going to delay this until Monday morning. Now the thing to know about this is if I close it and I click Send, it's going to stay sitting in my outbox. So that's going to be sitting right there. Since I typed this on this email, if I completely shut down this computer, well, the question is, does it live anywhere else? So I usually, like most people I'm sure, have my computers running. If you come over here to Outlook Online, there's really no option to delay delivery. So this is one of those instances where I would say your best practice is to make sure that this email where you're sending it from isn't shut down. So if I'm leaving for the day on Wednesday, I have a half day, I'm going to leave this computer running. Maybe I'll just lock it, by doing a Windows L to lock my computer so nobody can come in and type. And it's going to sit in my outbox and then it's going to be sent. Now, if I were to have to lose power or something, the next time the machine's powered up, it's going to send it out. But this is a really powerful tool. Now, I could always open this up and then send it immediately. But again, that options and delay delivery is really, really a powerful thing. And I haven't had any issues with it. In prior versions of Outlook, it tended to be hit or miss, but it's been working pretty well for me so far. So the other thing that I wanted to show in Skype for Business is if you just start a meeting, maybe we wanted to just say, let's meet now. If I come over here and I know that we have a company meeting going on right now, when we open this up, we can use a recording button within Skype. Again, you want to make sure that people realize you are recording sessions. So let's see. I'm just going to open up a Meet Now one. I'm the only person meeting right now. But again, you have these tools where you can, start recording. So if I were to start recording right now, it's saying recording has started. So people will get that notice. But if somebody's calling in on their phone line, they're not going to realize that they're going to be recording. So you just want to maybe remind people, hey, we're recording this session. And then those who have just joined, you can set a notification for people to join. You just want to remind them of that. Now the other one that I wanted to show you really quick, I know we're coming up at time, is the 1-minute magic. So this is done by Thomas Duff. He's well known in the SharePoint and Office community, but he just has a series of posts and they're all on, again, 1-minute magic, things that you can do really, really quickly. And I still learn stuff even after using and training people in Office products. So I think it's a really, really great series and I'm always picking up a tip or two that I didn't know about. So that's a great site to go ahead and go take a look at. So let me switch back over to my presentation. And again, these are just some of my top tips. Now, I could go on and on about all of the tips that are out there. When it comes to email, we are going to have a session coming up in December about cleaning up your email box, so look out for that one. We've had prior sessions on Word, and we're also going to do another session on Skype for Business specifically about meetings and recordings in December as well, so keep an eye out for that. One of the things that we know, there's lots of changes when it comes to Office 365, and we want to help you keep your employees informed. One way that you can do that is with Evolve 365, which is Planet Technologies subscription as a service. It's a help desk service that gives you on-demand self-help videos on Windows 7, 8, and 10, every version of Office going back to 2007 up to 2016, and of course Office 365 and SharePoint, including SharePoint 2013 on-prem and SharePoint Online. So we have more than 28,000 videos that people can come in and search and learn at their own pace. But we also have add-ons available for live support, vision and planning services, and every subscription comes with a dedicated Office 365 trusted advisor like myself. So we do have a free trial site if you want to take a peek at what our content looks like. You can go to freetrial.o365support.com. If you want to know more about the product, you can go to our main website at o365support.com. If you have any questions or you want to request a demo, you can email us at info@o365support.com. So we're going to wrap up our November series by talking about some Windows 10 features that will help your experience. And then I mentioned we're kicking off our December series pretty soon. If you haven't gotten that email now, you can probably look for it next week. We're going to talk about SharePoint permissions, Skype for Business meetings, SharePoint libraries, and then at the end of the month, we're going to talk about cleaning up your inbox and having that inbox zen of 0. So you can always find our sessions on our Planet Technologies YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/Planet Technologies. I want to thank everybody for joining today, and I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving holiday and hope to see you online next week.